Okay, I'm gonna try again. The 3D bow I made cracked, and I got another stave, and as I was scraping the sides with the draw knife, I was getting this pithy wood, this like rotten wood almost, and as I'm scraping and some of it disappeared, and as I went through the tillering process, a piece popped off and it cracked, and I didn't even put 20 pounds of pressure on it. So my hunting bow, I bought from a store that sells it from a supplier. And the Osage hunting bow is great shape. So when I called the guy up I bought it from, and he told me to go right to the supplier. The guy was a nice guy, this guy Mike. And he told me, sure Joe, I'll look, give me a day or two, I'll look and I'll get one for you. Nice growth rings, big long stave, and you know, all has to be worked, but overall I'm really happy with it. So this I'm hoping to make out to be my 3D bow for 3D tournaments. Okay, give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, we're going to take the bark down and some sapwood, try to get down to a growth ring today. You know, you never know what you're going to get once you take off the bark and the sapwood. You start taking it off, but there's a great big crack here. I don't know how many growth rings it goes down. We got to see. But, you know, you just start getting into it and you see something that's a potential big problem. It's not like you could really even work a limb around it. So I'm going to keep going and see what happens. I don't know how many growth rings I went down to get this deep gouge out, but there's a knot there and it's tapered. I'm going to have to try somehow to include it in the limb so I don't have it on the edge. You know, the limb's a little twisted. I'll have to straighten it out. But look how many, I don't even know how many growth rings I'm going down to try to, you know, make this work. It's more workout than it would be going to the gym for 8 hours. It's unbelievable. Okay, the amount of growth rings that I went down to remove that cut, you know, that depression, is unbelievable. So got a lot to go. Hoping there's no more surprises. I may have to go down even one more growth ring when it's all finished, so there's no broken growth rings. I hope it's worth it. Okay, a lot of really hard work went into this one. I took it down several growth rings. When I took the bark off, there was a deep crevice. I managed to go down deep enough to take it out, and I'll lay it out in the middle of the limb. Okay, I worked really hard on this one here. Got a lot of shavings to start the wood stove, because when I took the bark and the softwood off, there was a big gouge, and I managed to take it down. And what it is here is a little pin knot. I'll be able to put the limb around it. And as I started taking down the wood, I could see it's going to have a nice little snaky look to it. So I'm going to rough lay it out and use the draw knife to follow the shape of the snakiness and see what I wind up with. Okay, so I'm taking my time with this, and I think I'm going to be very happy with it. You know, it's It's always a surprise. You don't know what's underneath the bark and the sapwood, and you just can't give up. You got to say, I can make this work, and keep on working. And I got a really nice stave now. And so a little more to work on, and then you'll see, hopefully we'll get to see me pillar in the next couple of days. Following the slide grain here to see how it looks, shape, snakiness. Before I lay it out, clean it up a little, see what I'm dealing with. It'll be a nice bow, boy. I think it's going to be a real nice bow. Following the snakiness of this stave here, there's some darker wood I'm trying to get out before I lay out the bow. Following the grain. Okay, just about done here. Gotta do the other end, and then I'm gonna lay it out and finish taking it down. I got rid of all the nasties that I wanted to take out. Okay. Boy, this one was a lot of work, but it's looking good. Really got a good feeling about this one. And I've got to love the little bit of snakiness. Okay, this is the other end here, the snakiness. Okay, we're getting close to where I'm going to be laying it out. It's coming along good. Following the grain. Looking good. Very happy with this. Okay, we'll flip it over, and then we're going to lay it out. But look, see how I followed the grain? Okay, check out the nice snakiness of the stave. You know, I followed the grain on both sides. This way, before I lay it out, if I lay it out, I can follow that snakiness, figure out how I'm going to lay the bow out. Look at all the shavings. I got a box. Two boxes full of shavings there for the fireplace. But look how nice. That's going to be, I'm hoping this will be the best bow that I made so far. You know, so far I have a board bow that I'm shooting. That's really great. I have the Band-Aid bow, which is a lightweight bow. That is a fun bow. I shot it the other day. And I've been hunting with a 41-pound bow I made on Christmas, my Christmas bow. Osage recurve, you know. So I have 3 bows, and I've been trying desperately to get a like a 3D tournament bow, a fun bow, and this is supposed to be it. So you never know what happens. I had so many break at the end. I'm hoping this is a success, but look how awesome. I think it's going to be really awesome. This has some really nice, a little bit of snakiness to it, and I used the draw knife on the whole thing. I wanted to make sure it was around this knot here. Okay, this knot, and it's going to come out really good. I rounded the edges. You know, with the draw knife, I got to round them better with sandpaper, but I rounded them. Found the center. Now all I'm going to do is lay it out, and I'm going to carefully trim it up. And we're going to have terrible rain for the next day. So once I trim it, it's going to sit in the house for a day or 2 until I can tiller it. But I'm really happy, really happy. A lot of work, a lot of hard work. I worked harder on this than all the other bows because of the snakiness. I wanted to get the grain, follow the grain perfect, and I think it's going to come out. Worked on this from 1240 to 640. Check out the curvy snakiness to it. Okay, see the curves? Very cool bow it's going to be. Yeah, I floor tilled it too tonight, and all we're going to do is recurve it tomorrow. I made a smaller jig, 4.5-inch jig. Okay, last night I made a 4.5-inch recurve jig, and we're going to steam the bow, and we're going to bend it and see how it works out. Okay, got it going. Got the timer on for 35 minutes. Goes off and we'll give it a bend, see what happens. Okay, here we go. Always remember, if you're new to archery, the handle goes up. Okay, handle always up. Let's hope this don't pop up. So far, so good. There we go. Okay. See, maybe twist here. Look, this limb looks pretty good. Maybe a little weight on this side. And we'll hang a little bit of weight over here. Just a little bit. And that's it. We'll let that sit. Okay, everything's looking good. Okay. So look down. This limb's good. While we put the recurve in, once we get this aligned, this is pretty flat here and straight. Then we can look at the handle and see if it's got a little twist in the limb, and we can correct it a little bit. Sometimes you want them offset a little bit for the string. All right, so the other side, I know the other side has a slight twist that we're going to correct. Okay, here we go. Always remember, if you're new to archery, the handle goes up. Okay, handle always up. Let's hope this don't pop up. So far, so good. There we go. Okay. Let's see, maybe twist here. Look, this limb looks pretty good. Maybe a little weight on this side. And we'll hang a little bit of weight over here, just a little bit. And that's it. We'll let that sit. Okay, everything's looking good. Okay. We look down. This limb's good. While we put the recurve in, once we get this aligned, this is pretty flat here and straight. Then we can look at the handle and see if it's got a little twist in the limb, and we can correct it a little bit. Sometimes we want them offset a little bit for the string. All right, so the other side, I know the other side has a slight twist that we're going to correct. Okay, we have limb number 2 cooking, 35 minutes. Okay, limb number 2, always remember, handle up. Okay, take a look at this limb here. And I'm gonna put a little weight on this side. Okay, so I managed to get this bow tillered and rounded all the edges, and it looks good. But I have some linear cracks. And even though they said, you know, just put like a liquid crazy glue in there, I did that. I decided that I'm going to put some rawhide, and I don't care about slowing down the speed or anything else. I'm putting some rawhide. And after that dries, I'll put a little decorative wrap, a little gold decorative wrap underneath. I'm going to put it on both sides. So I have the rawhide strips cut and soaking. I got the tight bond, and I'm going to basically put it on just like you put on a snake skin, because it's only a short piece, and hopefully that'll keep it from breaking. I can't take any more chances. I went through so much money's worth of wood, I could have bought a couple of cords of wood, firewood with it. Instead, I made a little pile of firewood. All right, that's it. Okay, so there was a pin knot up on the top limb. And what I did was I left the limb wider to go around it, okay? Because I thought it might be too narrow if I used the draw knife and took it off. So after pulling it back a couple times, I heard a little crack, a little creak, and I couldn't really find where it was, so I ran steel wool over it, and it caught on that pin knot. So I used the draw knife, and I pulled it down, and I went around that knot and followed the grain and removed it. So then I strung it, and I pulled it back again, and I heard ever so little bit of a noise, and I let it down, and I said, I'm going to rawhide back the whole bow. And I don't care what it looks like. I'm rawhide backing it. I'm just tired of these bows breaking. So I had rawhide, I rawhide backed it. You can see the little snakiness, you know. And the rawhide don't really look the best in my opinion. But I'll tell you what, if it lasts, you know, I don't care what it looks like. So I talked to my friend, U-Diver. We all have our friends, you know. He says, I says, every time I name the bow, it seems to break. He said, maybe you should call it firewood. I said, you know what? The name of this bow is going to be Kindling. So this name of this bow here is Kindling. You know, firewoods, fire starter, Kindling. So we're going to let it dry. You know, it's got this is the third coat of polyurethane on it. And we're going to pull it back sometime tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. You know, sometimes I overthink things, but I wonder, since I'm trying to make 30-pound bows, 32-pound bows, and I'm going so thin on the limbs, that all the flaws are backed up by a thick limb. They're very thin. So I wonder if that's why I have problems too keeping these bows together, because I'm shooting for such a low pound bow. The limb thickness is very thin. Could be just something that's popping in my head. Okay, as you all know, I've been going through so much wood, so many of these Osage staves, okay? I could have bought 2-3 cords of firewood. So I bought a really nice stave from a guy, and it was beautiful. It looked great, aged. I took the bark off, I took the sapwood off, and I swear there must be a black cloud over me. I get down beyond the sapwood, and it looks like the Grand Canyon. You'll see in the video, there's a crack. And as I started taking down different growth rings to try and get this crack out of there, I went down and what I found on the bottom of it was like a pin knot. Pin knot and some grain around it. I think I even went down one more growth ring. I had 2 boxes of wood shavings, okay? So I says, okay, it's when I laid out the bow, I says, the limb will be kind of narrow, like it is now. I said, if I cut out that knot, I said, or I leave it thicker and be safe and hopefully it won't break. So I left it thicker, I tilled it, I got everything good. I recurved the ends of the limbs. I saw there was a little linear lines on the end of the limbs. So what I did was I put a little piece of rawhide. See, it stopped here. I put a little rawhide. I said, I don't care if it's slow. I don't care what it looks like. They had said if your linear lines are okay, so they just put like a crazy glue. So I had JB Weld clear crazy, like a crazy glue I put in there. I left it overnight and then I sanded it and I put the rawhide. I just want it to hold up. Don't care about speed, don't care about looks anymore. So as I start to pull it back a couple of times, you know, exercise the limbs, got it back, I hear a little crack, and I let it down. I don't see nothing. I take steel wool and I rub it along the limbs, and it catches on that knot. That knot, that crater that became a knot, pin knot on the end, caught. So I put it on the table. I put it on a wood vise that I had clamped to a table, and I used a draw knife. And I started going with the draw knife, and I managed to get underneath that knot and remove the knot. It took off a strip of wood like 1/4 inch, all right? So this is what I got for a top limb now, which isn't bad. I rounded them all. Everything's all rounded, right? You can see it's all rounded here. So I strung it up, and I says, oh man, I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna hear something. So I pull it back a little bit. I just slowly pull it back a little bit. Exercise, I pull it back a little more. I hear a little noise. I said, that's it. I am not taking any chances. I have rawhide. I'm gonna sand the bow here, and I'm gonna put rawhide. Just so you know, people aren't into archery. It's kind of weird. The belly of the bow faces your belly. The back is the opposite end that's away from you, and it's the back because you put things to back it to make it stronger sometimes, okay? So there's rawhide. Now there's rawhide on this whole thing, see? Use Type-On, let it cure for 24 hours. Actually, it's more than 24 hours. So I did it for 24 hours, it was dry. I trimmed it up, okay? Let it dry a little more, I just trimmed it. And then last night I put 3 coats of polyurethane on. So I strung it. So I was telling a friend, you diver, and Jack Monte, they break my chops every time I break a bow, go through these bows, you know, like I'm out of my mind. So I tell them every time I name a bow, it breaks. So you diver goes, well, name it firewood, it'll last forever. They'll probably put it in your coffin. I says, you know, maybe you got a point. So I named the bow Kindling. Okay, I didn't put any weights or nothing on. I named it Kindling. And I strung it. Didn't hear no noises, strung it. Okay, we got a little bit of a brace height going here. And I'm gonna take a couple of shots with it. And this way, for Jack Monte and you divers' enjoyment, if it breaks, they could see it crack. If not, we're good. Okay, so let's see how much noise I make or whatever happens here. Okay, just pull back a little bit. Just exercise a little bit here. Well, that's good. That's good news. That's good news. Wow, I may have a bow. Maybe the Kindling name helped. Look at that, I'm touching arrows down there. Let's send one more. Okay, I have wood arrows that I have to tune. But I figured just in case it breaks, I'm shooting these 700 spines with 125 grain tip. And for this lightweight bow, you know, they shoot, you can see the tail's a little right. That means they're a little stiff, which is good. Okay, you see that? Take a look. Okay. I'm grouping arrows. I have a bow complete. I'm gonna finish up tuning and setting up my wood arrows. And it's supposed to rain for 3 days. So we're gonna do a little shooting. And I think I have success. The Kindling bow lasted. Okay, here we are outside. Beautiful day. March 4th, 24. I have my Kindling bow. Okay, my Kindling bow. We're gonna do a little shooting with it. First time outside. I don't know really where it's gonna shoot. I have an idea where all bows shoot. So we're gonna give it a shot. That bear is roughly 10 yards. So let's see how I could do. I got my wood arrows. These wood arrows are 28 inches. They have those 40 grains, 45 maybe grain tips and a 75 grain screw-in tip on it. All right, the point adapter is like 45. Okay, got them fletched. The bear is roughly 10 yards. Let me get these glasses off. Not bad, right? Not bad. Let's try 20. I'm going to try 20. Well, I mean 15. We're standing here at the 15-yard mark. So that's 10, 15. That buck in the back is 20. And then if we feel like we're going to move over, and that mountain lion will be the 25-yard shot. So here we go. Here we are at 15. A little low. I have an extra arrow. I'm going to shoot now at 15, the bottom of the 10 ring. See how that works out. A little better. All right, let's just move on to the 20. I'm going to try the 20. Just how these are dropping in. That I'm going to try the top of the back at 20. Top of the back it is. All right, let's take a wild shot. Let's move over to the mountain lion at 25. Okay, you see the mountain lion back there? Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gap shooting with this. I'm gonna imagine like a 2-liter bottle sitting on top of that back. Well, actually a 16-liter bottle. We'll try shooting a 16-liter bottle off the top of that mountain lion's hump, the hump. Here we go. Oh, a little low. All right, let me get my arrows and we'll play some more. But so far, I'm really happy with this. It's just a matter of learning where it shoots. The rawhide backing, well, you know, it is what it is. I put it on because I didn't want to break any more bows. It's like almost bulletproof, so it's really fun. I just got to get used to it. We'll figure out the right arrows for this. Maybe a little lighter arrows will give me better trajectory. Maybe I'll shoot it at a 3D tournament. We'll see. Okay, one more quick round, and that'll be the end of the video here. Okay, the bear's 10. The deer by the bag targets is 15. I'm going to shoot the top of the 10 ring from what I learned. Well, under the back strap. Not bad. That deer on the right-hand side with the antlers is 20. Seemed to go pretty good when I put it on the back. put it right on the dot, man. That's crazy. This is the second round of shooting. All right, now the challenge. We're gonna go over to that mountain lion. And what I did was I shot an imaginary 16-ounce bottle over that mountain lion's hump there, okay? Now I'm gonna picture a 2-liter bottle, and I'm gonna shoot the cap off that 2-liter bottle on top of that hump. Okay, shot him in the neck, but look at the height. It's good, okay? Take a quick look. Okay. Okay, this is the second time I'm shooting this thing. Okay. Okay, these arrows are, though I tuned them because I have a bare shaft and you can screw in the tips, they may be a little bit off. Okay, I'm very happy with that. Okay, so you can see all my successes and failures with these bows. I have a feeling this is the last one I'm gonna make for a while, okay? All right, so anyway, I'm very happy with it. Show you one more time my Kindling bow. All right, maybe you diver was right, gave me a little luck. Named it Firewood, he says it'll never break, so I named it Kindling. All right, have a good day. Watch my other videos on Barebow Joe. Never give up. Never give up on anything in life. You saw all the wood I went through, right? Trying to build these bows, trying to have a successful bow for 3D. All right, the hunting bow came out good. I hunt with one. My board bow came out good. I have a fun Band-Aid bow that I play around with. That came out good. But I had like 3 or 4 bows that broke, okay? Bad wood, green wood, all right? And this was a beautiful stave I got from a guy. Very happy that he sent it to me. You know, he looked through his whole stack and sent me a beautiful piece of wood. But as I took off the bark, you never know what's underneath. There was a big gouge, crack, rot there, and I came down to a pin knot that I had to take off, all right? Never give up. Enjoy your day. Watch my other videos on Barebow Joe.